What if I told you that towing a caravan, camper trailer, boat or trailer did not have to be a stressful exercise and that it could be hassle-free? Would you believe what I have to say? This episode, I'm going to show you guys how we tow our camper trailer down to the prerequisites and checks we do before we leave, reversing up, hooking up, and a safety check that we do then, along with a final checklist before we leave. And along this journey, I'll show you some of the gear that we use along the way to monitor this stuff in real time for us when we're in transit on our way to our next adventure. Let's get cracking. The gear that we use. So in front of us, we got a couple of things that we use when we go away. So you get your tow hitch and your tow ball. So basically, guys, make sure when you go away that you've got, you check this. All right, so this has got a ball on it, it's a tongue. Yeah, it's looking a bit worse for wear and I probably should get a new one soon. This is predominantly used for our box trailer because it's got the tow ball on it. Now I don't have a specific hitch or anything for that, so our box trailer uses this. All our other stuff is, well, the only other thing I've got is the camper, which has got the DO35, which is on the car at the moment because we're getting ready to take this. I always keep a crescent in the car, so this one's a 10-inch or 250mm, just a shifter. What this allows me to do is to tighten up the pin when I change them over. Next things, know your vehicle, right? Ranger's got a 12-pin flat on it for the trailer plug, but it is important to know that, for example, when I switch between the camper trailer and the box trailer, my box trailer has a 7-pin round plug on it at the moment until I change it, whereas the Ranger's got a 12-pin flat. Now, 12-pin flats you can put a 7-pin into, right? So I use 7-pin flat into a 7-pin round to connect my box trailer with this tow ball, right? So you need to know what your car's got in terms of its connections, and you need to know what you're connecting to, so as you know that you're actually able to connect with all your lights and indicators and all the safety features that you need when you go towing. Next, I keep a couple of linch pins in the car. So these are just Goliath ones from Bunnings, nothing flash. I also then have another one here which is holding a couple of spare split pins. So you never know when you or someone else might actually need a split pin or just a linch pin to hold some stuff together or stop, stuff falling off. I find this stuff super helpful just to keep in the car. Doesn't take any space at all, and I just leave these in my glove box. All right, we'll run with these next. So tire gauges. So before you go anywhere, guys, even just seriously take yourself 5 minutes, check your car's tire pressures, check your towing vehicle's tire pressures. You can honestly save yourself a world of pain if you blow a tire out or you run one off a rim or something like that. So take 5 and just check those little things. Now, next, there's a lot of information out on the internet about D-shackles, bow shackles, hammer locks, all that sort of fun stuff when you're connecting your safety chains to your tow vehicle. Now, you can see these two have been used before. I've recently swapped them over to hammer locks, and you can see my video, which I'll post in as a card here. Now, the D-shackles are great. They are rated. So if you have D-shackles on your car, do yourself a favor. Check the rating of them. You can see it has a WLL, so a working load limit. Then it will have a number which is covered up by this little sticker at the moment. So what does that say? Working load limit 1 ton. Right, then it'll tell you chain size and then a compliance stamp or something that's on it as well. Check that they are rated for what you're towing. I'll throw a table up, which I pulled off a government website in a sec, and the link for the information will be in the description. That's all I can say. I can't stress that enough. Cool. All right, moving on. Let's go and hook this bad boy up. So, golden rule, guys, when you're hooking up, take your time. Don't be rushed into anything because of, time or people are watching or, anything like that. Let them watch. Please, for the love of God, make sure you can see your spotter. Get them in your mirrors. Do not have them between you and your towing vehicle. Never, ever, ever a good idea. Spotter stands off to the side. You can see them in your side mirrors, and they can guide you back. I use a hand signal. Have a well communicated method with your spotter. When it comes to actually hooking up, I've taken the red plug off my DO35 hitch on the car, and I've taken the Covix lock off the camper trailer, and then I opened up both gates before I actually jumped in the car and come back. So now I'm good to hook up. I know my jockey wheel. I've raised the jockey wheel height. So I know that my height's set, I know that I'm unlocked on the camper trailer, and I know that I'm unlocked on the car. I'm good to go. Alright, so let's hook this up and go backwards. I don't have to be super close or super accurate left or right because the camper trailer is quite light and it's a single axle. It's fairly easy to maneuver. I think we're close enough. You and I are about to find out just how close that is because, you know, I'm fairly certain that I'm not bang on. So we'll show you what to do if that is not the case. Let's go and have a look and see how good this was. Now, you know what? That's actually not too bad. So essentially something like that, right? So it's not bad, it's not great. What I tend to do first is when we're at the back of the vehicle like this, I tend to hook my chains and stuff up first so you guys can see if they reach. All right, I'm going to crisscross them under the tow hitch so as it will support that if there is an issue with this. It'll go under the hitch and it will support that. I'll show you that in a sec. Now I know that I'm safe on that front, I'm going to go ahead and drop my jockey wheel now so I can line up my hitch with the receiver. All right, make sure that I'm in the right position so as I can drop that DO35 onto it. And then we're going to hook this up to the car. So drop this down a little bit. I have come back too far with the car. Pad that I'm on is pretty much flat, so I know that we're good from that perspective. I probably shouldn't push against the stone guard that's there, but I'm pretty much bang under that now. We're in this position. The next steps are to make sure that the camper is going to be nice and secure to the car. So the DO35 has a push button which slides the hitch forward, so now I know that this is good. The way you know that this is incorrectly is if you look at this, right? You push the button, this piece slides above. If it's like this, you're unlocked, right? That can still, if I wind this up, that can still move, which is not great. You don't want to be doing that. So you want the weight resting on like so. Press your red button, watch it come forward, you're now locked. If you now wind your wheel up or down, it's going to move with your hitch. All right, next steps after this is to get the jockey wheel off. So remove the jockey wheel, we've got to wind it down until you see the wheel move. So it's off the ground now. Little tip that I use, because I had some issues with this when I first kind of got it. So I put the wheel back on, so you can see it's got enough movement there that I can move it, but not enough that it's taking any weight of the trailer. So this is good for me because you've got these slotted grooves here where it sits, and it's actually got a bit of a dimple here, which is where it's resting. And that also allows me to set this for the next time I go to put it back in. If you don't have this right and you're trying to put the wheel in, and you can cross thread this pretty easily. All right, so a little tip there. And then you need to put your jockey wheel somewhere safe and secure. I'm actually looking to put something up here so I can strap it to the camper itself. But for now, I just put this in the car. All right, so jockey wheel's done. Handbrake's off. All right, next steps. We are going to now connect up the trailer plug, the Anderson plug, and the breakaway system for the tow, the brakes on the camper itself. But essentially, this is the 12-pin plug. All right, so my car has a 12-pin flat plug, and then right next to it is my Ando plug, all right, which is what I use to charge the camper when we're moving. So I've got the 7-pin here. All right, we'll go into the top 7 pins up here. All right, so my 7-pin plug will go into that, and my Anderson plug will go into that, and this breakaway lead will go around my tow ball, or sorry, my tow bar, rather. So, plug in, like so, there's one. Ando plug, take off the little cap, and that's 2. I'll show you what to do with these in a sec, because it annoys the crap out of me, and I go literally up and over my tow bar here. So I'm using my tow bar as an anchor point, and then it'll drop down the other side like so, and then I just clip back over it. So there's kind of enough there that if this becomes too much, you'll pull this little black box here, all right? And then by pulling this, you engage the brake system on the camper trailer. The camper trailer brakes get applied, and the vehicle comes to a halt. What I tend to do is I just kind of slot this in the gap here, like as best I can. The trailer wiring is my big one, right? So I just kind of, as best I can, just feed that in to take up any excess slack that might be there. The cap will not sit flush if this is not right, okay? So start from the back, slide forward and just give it a bit of a push, and you'll hear that click. and from that point you then know you're good. So, in hooking up, final preps and checks that you place is jockey wheel off, your clips on, this is all done, handbrake down, alright, disengage your handbrake, and then do your check. So you've got your trailer plug, Anderson plug, breakaway system, and you've got your safety chains crisscrossed over the hitch. Right, that's your check before you leave. Now, there is a couple of other little things that I like to do before we go, and they are checking tyre pressures, like I said before. That's one, and what was the other one? You need to make sure that your lights are actually functioning before you leave, all right? Talia's just rocked up, so she can help me check these lights, and then we're gonna take this out of here and go and do something with it, which I will show you what that looks like shortly. So we're just doing a light check now. So Talia's home, and you can see the camera in here. So just plug this into the Ranger. Right hand?
Yes.
Left?
Yes.
Brake?
Yes.
All right, and parks, which will be hard to see.
You're all good.
Sweet, good to go. That was easy, wasn't it? Should have mentioned, I won't be able to show you just yet, but I might get the phone and show you while I'm still in the driveway and in park now with handbrake on. I'm running a Red Arc Tow Pro. Now, these have a little dial like so you can wind up your brakes on your trailer. See how it changes colour? So that colour change indicates that it's active because I have my foot on the brake. Now if I take my foot off, it goes blue, on, changes colour. Right, so you can tell if it's working now. I generally run at about the 5, so 50-50, if I've got weight in there. Now, I don't have any water or anything other than what we're kind of towing, so I'm going to dial it back to about a 3. You can push this to activate the emergency brake, as in like it'll lock up. So it's good to have it fairly central so your passenger can do that if need be. So nice and easy for Talia to reach if I say, hey, I'm losing control, can you handle the Tow Pro? And we'll have that discussion as well. So we're about ready to head on the road now, and we're going to drop this off because we've got some big news coming. The iCheck TPMS and the scan gauge. Now look, I've done a video on both of those, which I'll post in the description, so you guys can go check them out if you want. It's all part of the Gear Series playlist on YouTube. Go and check it out. A couple of things to consider when you're driving around towing a vehicle. So stick to sports mode. Your car will generally work it out. And you can change your gears manually and use your Triptonic, whatever it's called, to change between those if your car does want to keep dropping into 5th or 6th. So that's that. Take your time, because you're towing, you're going to be longer than the other cars, so I just have to wait for this Triton now. I've got a gap on both left and right. You can't necessarily always hit those middle islands and wait, because you are longer. You will need to factor that in when you're driving. Right, you're a bit longer, you're going to take a bit longer to get off the mark. Stay left. Don't be one of those idiots that tows and hangs in the right hand lane. You shit me to tears. Stay left. All right, keep everyone happy. I use the tip or trip tonic to push down gears and save some strain on the brakes as well. So I punch back through like 4th, 3rd, 2nd and kind of roll into 1st. And then I push back to drive and back across to sport. So when I take off again, it goes through and takes longer to hold those gear revs. All right, so check your mirrors, constantly lean left, right, center. Make sure you know who and what is behind you, because obviously being a longer vehicle, you've got to factor in idiots that are going to like try and bypass you or cut you off, or any motorbikes like now at the lights, any motorbikes that might try and come between the gap. Just make sure you're constantly aware of your surroundings, okay? It's not rocket science, it's not hard. Actually, speaking of motorbikes, I've got one now. All right, it's one coming down the guts. Just be aware of your surroundings, that's all I'm asking. When you hit corners, just factor in that you need a little bit more width to go around that corner safely and without hitting curbs. Or look 2 or 3 or 4 cars in front. I tend to look like 4 or 5 cars in front normally when I'm driving. If you are towing anything, you need to be looking like 10 cars in front to see what the traffic's doing and be able to read it. Like right now, I've got 2 cars turning right where the lane forms one lane. I'm naturally in the left-hand lane anyway. I've got no one approaching my right-hand side, so there is no reason why I need to slow down or cause any sort of congestion with the traffic here, because there's just no need for it. I'm looking that far ahead. I can actually see, except for dickheads that pull out like that, because I had space, you can see the distance and gauge what's happening in front of you, which ultimately is just, it's going to make your drive a lot more relaxing because you're not stressing about anything with towing, right? You've got the space between you and the next car. You know what's behind you. You're checking all of your mirrors, right? Your car's in sports mode, so that's basically your car is sorted. You're watching your coolant trans temp. You know your tire pressures are good. You can literally just focus now on driving, and that's all you need to do. All right. So that's my rant over on the driving front. Guys, be safe out there. Please don't be idiots driving when you're towing or full stop driving. I hope some of these tips today have actually resonated with you, and you can gain an understanding and an insight of how I drive when towing. So yeah, hope you found value in that. Stick around, I've got a little bit of a bonus teaser at the end now on what's coming or what's to come. There's a lot happening, so please stay tuned. Thanks guys, we'll see you in the next one. Alrighty, bonus teaser. So, now's as good a time as any to drop a hint as well that you've heard me say throughout here, we're doing a big trip at the end of the year. Now, you might have picked up that I said I'm doing close to 10,000 Ks at the end of the year. That is no exaggeration. Talia and I we're kind of bitten the bullet a little bit, and we're gonna drive from Perth to Melbourne at the end of the year. So, we're super stoked about this. This is gonna be next level. I've never done a trip this big before, ever. I've never towed something for as far as that either. Guaranteed there's gonna be shit that goes wrong, almost guaranteed over those kilometers. So I hope now you can have an understanding, a sense of reason as to why we're putting the stuff in the car that we're putting in there. We're not just throwing money at the car for shits and giggles and, you know, to create a YouTube channel and, you know, go viral and shit like that. Don't get me wrong, that'd be great. That's not the plan. It never was the plan. The purpose for this is to show you guys how we are setting up to go away. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a ball recording it for you guys and running over all my safety features and, you know, all the cool gadgets that we bought over the last few months. So I hope you understand now why we're going through what we're doing. Not only for content for you guys, but to gear us up to go away at the end of the year. I'm super stoked, I'm super excited. If you found any of this stuff useful, please let me know in the comments below. I go through them, I review them, I'll respond to you. Thank you for taking the time to go and actually do those. If you want to find out more about the hammer locks that I'm using, watch this video right here. I've got a full DIY how to install video that's present over there. And I've also got my camper review, or the walkthrough that we've got as well, which you can see up here. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.